So I moved to Orlando, Florida with basically no money in my bank account. I didn't have a job lined up, and I had no idea really what was to come. Was it a smart decision? No, absolutely not. But was it worth it? Was it the right decision? Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Christopher with Plan Your Adventures, and welcome to my channel. In case you are new here, moved across the country from Pennsylvania to Orlando, Florida, truly to grow my business, to start a new dream life for myself that I've been visioning forever, and to grow my business. I am a travel planner, I'm a content creator, and a lot of what I do revolves around Disney and Universal and cruises, whether that be planning my clients' vacations or creating content around those destinations. So Florida's the place to be. I also have been vacationing here for a couple of years. I came once as a child because our family couldn't really afford it more than that. But I planned trips in my head. Like, I dreamed of being that family that could come here every year. And then when I became an adult and had adult money, I came all the time. Okay, like we were talking right before I moved, I ended up coming almost every other month. I think in 2024, between 2023 and 2024, I had like 8 or 9 trips between the 2 years. So I was coming a lot, and so it just made sense for myself, for like my mental health, but also my business and what I wanted out of life to move down here to Orlando, Florida. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about that journey. We're going to start at the beginning, and I'm going to take you through the whole journey. We'll talk a little bit about finances, maybe tips and tricks for people that are in a similar boat or thinking about doing something similar. And we'll just kind of see. I don't really have a script. I have a couple of notes off to the side if I glance. That may be what I'm looking at, but not really much, to be honest. I just wanted to hit record and do a little bit of a chit-chatty video. So without further ado, we're looking back at 2020, honestly, like end of 2023 into throughout early 2024. I'm not happy. I'm in a desk job, and I feel like I'm just a workhorse. Like I'm working, and I had great coworkers, I had a couple great bosses and things, so I'm not necessarily totally trashing this experience because it came at the right time and I needed a job, so it was great. But I worked for a theater company in Pennsylvania, and I just felt not super appreciated, and I wasn't getting a lot of joy out of what I was doing. I was just doing like a corporate America type, come to work, clock in, do the work, go home, and I just was not happy. So I started down a social media journey actually back in 2019, 2020 when I fell down the planner community rabbit hole. So I have a whole nother channel and account called Plan Your Truth, where I do a lot with planners and stickers and goal setting and manifestation. So that's really where I started down the social media rabbit hole. Through that, I discovered a lot of Disney accounts and kind of re-found my love of Disney and Disney World. So I started to plan some trips for myself. I met up with a friend while I came to Disney, and she was a travel planner. And so she kind of had talked, her name is Crystal, and she had talked to me about her journey in becoming a travel planner, and I wanted to jump on board as well. And so after that meeting, I went home, I created an LLC for myself, I applied for an agency, which ended up being trash, but that's a story for another day. And I became a travel planner, and that is what has now grown to me being here in Florida. I continued that love of Disney. I started traveling here all the time, every couple months. I made great friends through this journey, and I found in even more, is that the right way to say it? I found that I have a passion for content creation, even if it's not for myself, even working for other companies. I really love social media. I love learning about photography and creating different types of content. And I'm still on a journey. I still have a lot to learn, but I found what I'm passionate about: content creation and helping people plan magical vacations. So I finally felt like, okay, I have a purpose. I know what I want to do with my life. And so I'm in this corporate America kind of job, and I'm doing all the things. I'm dibble dabbling a little bit with the content, doing a little bit of travel planning. It's a lot to do a full-time job and all of these part-time things. So I wasn't able to commit to my business what I wanted to, because I had to work 40 hours a week to build somebody else's business and to grow their dream. And a quote stuck with me. Do I have it in front of me? Let's see. I put it on my vision board for this year, so I'm going to read it to you. I found it from my friend Katie, actually, is the one that introduced me to this quote. Where is she? I know I have my vision board in here. Here we go. So I always, in my planner, make a little vision board. And at the center of my 2025 one, it's time to stop building someone else's castle when I have my own kingdom to create. That just really resonated with me. I felt like a workhorse. I felt like I was building somebody else's dream, and I have all these dreams and all these passions that were not getting the energy from me that they deserved because they couldn't, because I was giving all of my energy to these other businesses that were not mine and were not bringing me joy. So I made the decision to begin to think about and dibble dabble with the idea of moving across the country to my favorite place, to Disney World, really. Every time I traveled to Orlando, I just was happy. I felt at home. I love palm trees. I love the beach, which we're not like right on the beach, but I'm like an hour from the beach. That's pretty good. I was like 3 hours back home in Pennsylvania. So this is my happy place. And it's different when you're on vacation. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But this is my happy place. And if I wanted to be a full-time travel agent, if I wanted to be a full-time content creator, I could do so much more here in Orlando. So that's kind of the backstory. So now how do we actually make that happen? Okay, this was a journey, and it still is a journey. In a dream world, and if you're looking to do something similar, every research you do and everybody that you talk to will tell you to, have your ducks in a row. Financially, to be kind of set, to have a good amount of money in the bank. I heard everything from like 6 months of bills and expenses to a year of bills and expenses, or at least a full-time job lined up. I did not go the financial smart route. I just didn't. That was the plan. I wanted to have 6 months of expenses saved and maybe even a job lined up. I spent a good year looking for virtual jobs that I could help with the transition. It just didn't happen. It wasn't in the cards for whatever reason. I tried. I probably have applied to almost 100 jobs, most of them virtual, and nothing really panned out. Nothing was the right pay for what I wanted. I didn't get, anyway, it just wasn't meant to be. And so instead of letting that discourage me, which it did at times, I went through a lot of emotions throughout this whole process, right? But instead of letting that stop the journey, it actually fueled it. And I knew deep down, I just knew in my gut that this was the right move to make, and it was going to happen no matter what. So I really started to explore the idea with telling my family. That was really hard. I knew they weren't going to be happy. My mom, I knew, was going to be really struggle with this because I've always been close to home, and all of her children really have. So I was scared to tell some family and friends. I was scared to really divulge the news to my friend and roommate Sarah, even though she was super supportive and has been the best throughout the whole process. I still was a little nervous to tell people. But this is what I wanted, and so there were going to be hard things in this journey, and I committed to doing them because this is what I wanted. So I began to tell some people, but I'm still kind of keeping it a secret from my job because they can't know. I still need that full-time income. So we're still kind of some people know, some people don't. And so I can't talk about it on social media, which I was so excited to do and to share with my audience. So anyway, we get closer and closer. I actually come for an apartment hunting trip, which if you're looking to do something similar, I really recommend, especially if you're moving somewhere far away. I was really stressed. I had done a lot of research. And if you're interested or in a similar boat, comment down below. I could do a whole video just kind of going over the research I did about like neighborhoods and apartment complexes and all of that kind of stuff. But I did a lot of thinking about what area I wanted to be in, but also looking at cheap, affordable options because I still didn't have a job. And spoiler alert, I still don't have a job. So like I needed affordability was kind of the priority, but I also wanted to look at location. So I loved coming for that trip. I toured tons of complexes. I drove around Orlando like a local so I could kind of see what the areas felt like. Let's let them go by. Sorry. And I found apartments that would have been perfect, but the one that I'm in right now was my first choice. And I didn't have it locked down yet because I didn't really have proof of income. I didn't know how it was going to work. I was really nervous about getting accepted because most apartment complexes make you prove proof of income. And so we made it all work, but it was very stressful if you don't have a job. We made it all work, and like I said, I can do another video about that process if you're interested. But eventually, we get closer and closer. I keep having deadlines in my mind. Like, okay, I'm gonna move in August. Then it got pushed back to like October. Then it got pushed back to like January, February. Partly because I didn't have the money saved. I was already kind of living paycheck to paycheck. And I didn't really have the money saved that I wanted to. At the end of the day, I ended up saving about $10,000. Most of that money was for the move itself, the U-Haul, the actual gas, and to get down here, and buying new furniture for the apartment, and stocking the fridge, and half of that money was for the move itself. I had to buy like all new furniture, desk, couch, bookshelves, bed, dresser. Like I was really starting from scratch. So I didn't have enough money saved. And so it kind of kept pushing back. And then I one day was like, I can't keep pushing this back. At the end of the day, you know what's right. And so if I was smart financially, sure, I would have pushed it back more. I didn't have enough money saved. I should have waited, okay? I should have waited until I had more money or a job or something. But I just couldn't, and I knew deep down that I just couldn't. So we just kind of started doing the things. I applied for the apartment. I got approved right away. I quit my job. I could announce it on social media. I told all of my family and friends. And before I knew it, this process that had taken me like a year of thinking about it and manifesting it and working towards it and hustling, and all of a sudden it was happening in like 4 weeks. Like all of a sudden I was moving across the country in 4 weeks. And so now was crunch time. So I wanted to leave my job really respectfully. So I gave them like a full almost 4 weeks notice. I helped them with the transition. So I spent a lot of my time doing that. But then every other second of every day was spent shopping and packing and prepping for this move. So there wasn't a ton of time in there to like look for jobs and figure out money. I knew I had enough money to at least get myself here and live for like a month. I had I didn't have to make 1 penny for a month. And I knew I had enough to be okay for that first month. That's it. That's not enough. That's not what I would encourage somebody in a similar situation to do. I don't regret it though at all. Not in the slightest, which I'll chat about in a minute. We're almost there. This has turned into story time with Christopher. I hope you're enjoying. If you are, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe so you can see all of my future content. But it's like ready or not, here we come. Okay, we were down to the wire, and this was an emotional time. I'm gonna like cry thinking about it because this is something that I've wanted for so long, and so part of me was just so flippin' excited. I was also really scared to move without a real job lined up and without friends here. I was moving somewhere where I didn't really know anybody. So I was scared. I also was sad to be leaving any family and friends that I did have back home in Pennsylvania and to leave that life. So while I wasn't necessarily super happy in that life, it still is what I knew. And there were good moments and being around my sisters and friends there. And I knew I was going to miss that. So this was a really emotional month. Then the time comes and we are like doing the thing. So how I ended up doing it was we rented a U-Haul. We packed it up. My sister, Erin Mary, was the biggest help in the packing process. She did. I should say also, I have vlogs from this whole process. I'll link the playlist for you if you want to see the whole move. But I have vlogs from it, so you can actually see the whole process. But Erin Mary was the biggest help for me. She did so much to help me pack. Then my dad helped as well with packing the U-Haul. And then he drove with me cross country. So we drove this U-Haul, towing my car behind it, which was a journey in itself, all the way from Pennsylvania to Florida. We did stop overnight in South Carolina. My cousin, actually, or my mom's cousin, lives in like near Charleston. So that's where we stopped so we could stay the night for free at her house, and it was lovely to see her. And then the next day we continued our journey and we were here. We could move into the apartment. My sisters flew down to help with the move, Shannon and Erin Mary. And so we had a nice couple days getting set up in this apartment. And we went to Disney once. And like I said, I have vlogs from that whole situation. But we were here. And honestly, I never had that moment of like realization. I was expecting to have a moment where I just looked around and was like, this was my dream and I did it. I'm here. I never had that. I had little moments here and there, and it's hit me now. Like I look around and I'm like, yeah, that's right. I'm here. But I think because I had been visualizing it and manifesting it and working towards it for so long, it almost already felt real. I was like, yeah, of course I'm here in Orlando, Florida. Of course I'm living my dream. Like I never had any doubts. I knew this was going to happen. So you need that confidence. You need that hoofda. What am I trying to say? You need that to like hustle and make it happen. If this is a dream, and any dream that you have to put the work in. You have to believe in yourself. You have to put the work in. And then anything is possible. You can move across the country without a job and without money. So let's kind of begin to go into that now. So I say I didn't have a job, which is true. I've had a full-time job my entire adult life. I don't. I've been here over 3 months and I still don't have a full-time job. I have a lot of part-time jobs. I work part-time with my agency, running social media for them. I work part-time working as an assistant for some other travel agents with my agency. I work for the Happy Planner, and I do some affiliate planner company work over on Plan Your Truth, my other account. I have YouTube channels that generate a little bit of income. I have a Patreon community, which is a great way to support my accounts. I'm sure I'm missing something. Oh, I'm a travel planner. Hello, that's a way that brings in money. I have like 20 different income streams, but they all bring in like a little bit, right? Like $50 here, $50 here. It's not enough right now to sustain. The goal is that this is it. This is my full-time job. This is my income. We're like not quite there yet. We're making it work though. Let me tell you what, we're kind of living paycheck to paycheck, but we're making it work. Brand opportunities come up right before a bill is due. This is not necessarily how I would recommend somebody to do it because it's risky. And, you know, I don't want to go into debt. So like, I'm not necessarily like, sure, that's one way to do it. Put it all on a credit card. No, I can't do that. I can't go down that rabbit hole. But we're making it work. I've DoorDashed a couple times to make some extra money. I'm on a wait list for like Instacart and Shipt to be a shopper for them. I'm looking at other ways to make money. And I am also going to start to look for a part-time job. I can't do a full-time job. My business is growing, which is what I want. And so I don't have enough hours in the day to give somebody else 40 hours a week. That's why I moved in the first place, you know? I didn't want to build somebody else's castle. I have my own kingdom to create. So here we are, building my kingdom here in Orlando, Florida. I have other videos talking about, you know, my expectations, my fears, kind of how the journey has gone so far, and I will continue to do like monthly or bi-monthly updates on some of those feelings. So definitely check out those other videos. But I wanted to just tell you the story of the move in today's video and kind of explain some of the finances, which, you know, is personal stuff, but I am happy to be honest about my whole journey and hope that it can inspire somebody, or maybe you can learn from this if you're in a similar situation. And I'm always here if you have questions or want to chat about your journey. I'm really passionate about, there's a lot of cops out here today. Oh my goodness. I'm really passionate about goal setting as well, and that's what my whole other account is about. So if you are looking for that extra accountability and that extra chatting about manifesting and goal setting, I'll link Plan Your Truth for you down below, because that's really the place for that. But if you are interested in this Florida journey and Disney and cruise and Universal content and planning vacations and that side of things, then this channel, you're in the right spot. This is where you want to be. I am so close to hitting a huge milestone here on YouTube, 1,000 subscribers. This has like been my goal since I started this account a couple months ago with this journey. I really would love it if you hit that subscribe button to support my journey. And hopefully it provides you support and inspiration and entertainment as well. I think that's all I really had to chat about today. Yeah, really just my biggest tip to somebody that wants to do this is to just do it. If I waited for a job, or if I waited for more money in my savings, I would not have had any of the opportunities that I've had over the last 3 months. I've gone on 2 cruises. I've gone to Epic Universe hosted, and to be honest, I was paid to be there. This brand new Universal theme park to create content for my agency. I've had so many incredible opportunities and already met some great people. None of that would have happened if I did the smart thing. None of that would have happened. I would still be at home in Pennsylvania, working at this job that made me miserable, waiting. So even though this is not the smart advice, my true advice is to just do it. You know deep down in your gut what's right for you. And if you have a dream, just do it. Chase that dream, and you will find a way. You will find a way to make that dream come true. Because you have to. At the end of the day, I have to make this work. I want to make this work. I will make this work. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button. Like I said, make sure you're subscribed. We're so close to that 1,000 mark. And if you're planning a trip, send me an email or use the link down below. I really would love to help you plan a trip here to Orlando or cruising or whatever, and you're supporting my business. Anything you can do is just supporting this journey for me and allows me to keep creating content like this for you. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you real soon.